So as you look at the Earth, you may notice that there's a lot of different features. There's canyons, there's mountains, and although we've learned a little bit about how mountains can form and how canyons or rifts can form, or trenches, there's also some other factors that help shape the Earth. This is the video for the student practice identifying Earth shaping factors. Make sure you have your note sheet that I created for you out right now so you can take notes on this. This video is going to give you notes for this worksheet right here. So, how does the Earth change? What else can evolve and change our Earth? Well, we have two things: constructive and destructive forces. Destructive destroys or breaks down surface features of the Earth, and constructive builds up or constructs, creates features on the Earth. Examples of destructive are weathering and erosion. This can be mechanical and chemical, from gravity, wind, water, ice, biological. Also, plate tectonic interactions like earthquakes and volcanoes. Constructive, things that build up features on the Earth, are deposition of sediments that can be brought over by wind, water, and ice, making deltas, sand dunes, and other things like that. And also, plate tectonic interactions here can build things, as you already know, like collisions. Continental collisions make mountains, folding, faulting, and volcanoes. They can build up the land. Let's start with destructive. We have four types here. Water, the flow of water breaks down rocks and moves it. Now, before I move on, I want to mention this: a difference between weathering and erosion. Usually these things happen together, but they don't always. So the actual process of weathering is the breaking down of the rocks and the land. The erosion is when it's moved to somewhere else. So when we talk about mechanical weathering by water, the water flowing over the rocks can break it down, and inevitably it is going to carry it away somewhere else. So weathering and erosion happens in this situation. Gravity is also a mechanical weathering. As rocks weather from, water and wind, if the structure holding it up, like especially this one, breaks, gravity can pull things down, like landslides, mudslides, and rock slides. Blowing wind also can wear away rock and the stuff that wind blows. Like if wind is blowing sand, then it can also weather structures and wither them down. Ice is another one, which is a little different than water, because when water freezes, it actually gets less dense, it expands. So if it's inside of a small space, if liquid water is in a little space and it freezes, it can do what's called ice wedging, or there's a freeze-thaw cycle. It makes cracks, and these cracks can grow. It's how potholes form in the road. Water gets in a little crack, it freezes overnight, makes the crack bigger. More water gets in, it freezes, makes the crack bigger, etc. There's also chemical weathering. There's a slow and a rapid type. Usually it's some kind of acidic rain or acid or some kind of chemical could even be coming from an animal, as we'll see next. But that can wear away different types of rocks and dissolve them. Coral bleaching, which we'll learn about later, is a great example of this. Now for biological. Different kinds of creatures can break down land features. Sometimes it's animals that dig holes or chop down trees. Sometimes it's a plant. A seed is very, very small, so a seed can fall in a little crack. But as that plant grows very slowly over time, it can crack and break rocks. And also some plants, like these lichens, lichens, that's actually like a plant and a fungus and a bacteria growing together. These can excrete acids that can break down rocks. If you've ever seen these on trees or on rocks or on sidewalks, they're actually dissolving the stone or the substance that they're on and using it to sustain their life. Now, these are obvious. We went over plate tectonics already, but obviously earthquakes can make things crack and fall. Subduction can pull things under, and it can break down land masses. Now let's talk about constructive. Deposition is a big one. This kind of goes hand in hand with the destructive forces, but once water breaks down rocks in one place, it can bring it to another place, which can form deltas. This is the end result of weathering and erosion, but wherever that stuff goes, that sediment goes, it will build up a feature somewhere else. Ice can do this too, because as glaciers slide down mountains, they bring rocks and debris with them so they can create moraines at the bottom of a hill or a mountain. And of course, everyone knows what sand dunes look like. As wind blows sand, it ends up somewhere, so these dunes can be built up that way. Also, plate tectonics can build up surface features on the Earth too. Folding, continental collisions, they can build up big mountain features. Even divergent boundaries, as they split and new magma comes up, they create volcanoes, which can create brand new landforms. Now, I don't have it on here, but I should mention biological could be constructive too. If you think about like a beaver building a dam, they build up these big dams that weren't there before. So I would add that as well.